WNYU. That's Living Color from the LP Vivid, Cult of Personality. We'll be talking to Vernon Reid in just 1 second. Before that, the Shaved Pigs from the Cheers LP, Substitute. We started off with the Flatmates from the Shimmer EP, Bad. Let me tell you, your guitar playing on that Vivid LP is bad in a good sense, if you know what I mean.
Yo.
How you doing anyway?
Pretty good. Thanks a lot.
Now, how's the album, how's the response been?
So far, it's been pretty good. People say they like it. It's been doing all right. Stores have been selling it okay. Yo, thanks.
No problem.
It's been I think it starts out with the fact that we're really happy with it. We were really happy with working with Ed Stasium on the record, and so it came out the way we wanted it to, and the company was very supportive. Epic was real supportive. So, I guess it starts out there. If you're real happy with it, then you can kind of face whatever it is, whatever it's going to be, And so far, the response has been really good. So I'm real happy.
How long did it take to actually get this thing out?
Well, if you're talking about actual time making the record, we did it like in a really concentrated amount of time. To actually get on the label took quite a bit of time because Living Color has been around for a number of years, and the band that's on this record, we've been together for 2 years. So we've been, hitting it for a while, trying to get it done. But when we actually recorded the record, it was pretty quick. It was like 9 weeks in the studio, which is fairly quick for, I think, a rock and roll record these days. It's funny, because before, in the old days, you just put a mic up. Well, even now, like a lot of bands, like indie bands, it's like they do their records real quick. And so you can get a real immediate type of thing, but at the same time, sometimes you don't get enough of a chance to stand back and say, okay, well, maybe we'll try this or try that, So we kind of split the difference. So we did it in 9 weeks, but we cut the tracks live in the studio, so that really helped.
How's it been responded to in, I guess, AOR and college radio?
Well,
have you heard?
College radio is real important to us because, in a way, this audience is the audience that kind of made us over at CBGB's because we really became known locally in the New York area from playing at that club. And so far, I think we're like number 43 on the CMJ charts. The response has been really good, so we're really gratified with that, especially since this record is coming out sort of late in the school year. But people are picking up on it, and that makes us feel good. And AOR, surprisingly, is picking up on it also. So we got some good ads. I think WNYU's playing it, and the station. I think KLOS in Los Angeles, and we just got added to WBCN today, and that's really gratifying.
Well, it sounds like it's being picked up.
It's been picked up. It's happening bit by bit. We don't delude ourselves. We know it's going to be a trip, because like any new band that's trying to do something, there's a lot of people competing, I guess, for the same space and whatnot. But we really believe in it, and we have a lot of faith, so we're just gonna keep on hitting it.
Now, the most of the songs on the album, I guess, are pretty socially aware.
Yeah.
And the Cult of Personality to me seems like the whole Jimmy Swaggart and
it's all
that
of
type
that.
deal.
It's all of that. It's I think Cult of Personality. What we're talking about is that whole process. Like Andy Warhol talks about, everybody's gonna be famous for 15 minutes, or he talked about when he was alive. His 15 minutes. His 15 minutes were up. But anyway, he talk about that process of becoming like almost a godlike figure. It's almost the same for whether or not you're a person that represents good, like a Gandhi or a Malcolm X or a Martin Luther King, or whether it's someone really evil, like a Mussolini or a Hitler, or even someone that kind of like a Jimmy Swaggart, who wears the guise of good but has other like demons and things inside that he's hiding from people. But Jimmy Swaggart was like a demigod. People were just throwing their money at this cat. A lot of the TV reference, and they say they don't even, they don't use any euphemisms. They come on the TV and say, yeah, we are representatives of the Lord. So for that reason, you got to send us your money. you know, and people buy it.
People do it, yeah.
People buy it, and
Make millions.
that's the amazing thing, you know. But if fame itself were able to speak and say what it was, that's kind of what the cult of personality is. Like Joseph Stalin, talking about how all of Russia was in thrall to an image, you know. And it wasn't until Khrushchev came along and said, you know, the pogroms, the labor camp stuff, I mean, the disappearances, and he literally came out and said, you know, what Stalin did was wrong, and then they started pulling down the statues. Same thing with Mussolini. When Mussolini, you know, he erected like statues of himself like all over the place,
right, in
Italy, and you know, when he fell out of grace, you know, people pulled him down. That's the other side of it. And when you fall out of the cult of personality, you're almost as despised as you were loved, you know. So it's pretty interesting.
Now, how about your work with the Black Rock Coalition? I know it's began about 2 years ago. Or
about
so?
2 years ago. Yeah, it'll be 3 years, I think, in September.
What's up with that?
Well, we just did a thing for Jesse Jackson a couple of weeks ago. Did a benefit at Siberia, which Siberia is closed now. It was like one of the last performances.
All the little clubs around here, they
weird.
open, and a few weeks later,
strange.
it's gone.
They're here and they're gone. Like the Milky Way, you know, was all the way east, and now all of a sudden the Milky Way is over by Irving. It's like Irving Plaza is now the Milky Way.
Really? And 428 Lafayette.
Right, 428 is gone. You know, it's it's funny. Even like in the early days, because I remember when I was playing with Defunct and playing with James White. You know, when Haraz was around and Privates was around and Tier 3. You know, kind of like the beginning of the current age. I mean, back in like 1980, kind of the post-punk scene. You know, like a lot of those clubs, it seemed like, you know, you just ran around and went and saw great music everywhere. You just ran to this club, that club. You know, used to go to Max's Kansas City.
Where was that?
Used to go to Danceteria. Max's Kansas City was, it was like on 5th, it was like on 5th Avenue, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
Somebody out there is going to correct me, I don't know. But I remember going out to Max's Kansas
Probably
City.
Max.
But that's the thing about in New York is that places go up and come down, and you can barely remember what was there before. Like the Barnes and Noble that's in the West Village on 6th Avenue and 8th Street. That used to be a Nathan's years ago. But for the life of me, it was something in between that, and I can't even remember what it used to be. And like look over at on St. Mark's and 2nd Avenue. I mean, it's unbelievable. They have a Gap.
I know. Everyone's talking about
it. The Gap
it.
for kids. It's insane. And that used to be a club, not a club. It used to be a clothing store called Shazam, which sold like, you know, transvestite clothes and all kind of wild gear. And now they have like a Gap and a Gap for kids. And I swear to God, every time I go by there, this place is empty.
There's nobody ever.
Nobody's
ever
that. In there. But you know, I kind of wonder, like, they're not thinking about the current population of the East Village. They're thinking about the population to come.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
And that's pretty scary.
So I remember when it was all boarded up and people were just sleeping right outside on the street in front of it.
It's very weird. I remember like my first gig in the Village was at this. They used to have a clothing store. They used to have a clothing store called The Late Show on 3rd Avenue and St. Mark's. And bands used to play in there. And I remember the first gig there was like in 1978. And it was really bizarre, you know. And now, I mean, you can barely remember buildings as they disappear. It's a very strange process. In fact, we got like one of our songs on the record. It's called "Open Letter to a Landlord." And it's kind of about that whole.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Trip, you know. But it's weird. The neighborhood's changing so fast. So much money is coming into it. Look at the Zeckendorf Towers. You know, it's wild. But you know, the whole East Village just totally.
It's even spreading towards Alphabet City.
Isn't that
supposed
funny?
to open an old age home around where all the tents and homeless people are.
That's right. You know, you look at what's happening at Tompkins Square Park. It's like Tompkins Square Park is like an outdoor pavilion of homeless people. It's wild stuff. You know, so from the vantage point of kind of, you know, having played in the scene, and even the fact that CBGB's has really been instrumental. I mean, thank God for that place, because if it wasn't for CBGB's, I mean, there's a lot of music. A lot of bands couldn't even make their swings, like up and down the East Coast.
Right.
Like, you know, bands have to kind of come into CBGB's that are on tour, you know. And local bands here, you know, couldn't get a play.
It's like the last survivor, you know.
I'm telling you.
Let's hope it stays around.
Yeah, let's really. I really hope it stays for, I mean, as long as it's rock and roll, really, because without it, it would be a major loss. It's frightening, you know, because I used to always think, God, what would happen to us? I mean, Living Color, what would happen to us if CBGB's closed down? You know, and now, okay, we're on a major label. Now I can't help but thinking about bands, you know, coming up, bands that are doing indie records, bands that are trying to do their own trip, bands that are trying to get on majors, bands that are just trying to be seen. There's no equivalent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't going to close no time soon, so nothing to worry about, really.
All right. The next song we're going to hear from Vivid, Desperate People.
Desperate People.
Actually, I think, hold on one sec. What do I have queued up? We're going to hear Desperate People after we hear Middleman.
right. One follows the other. Yeah, we got a video. Robert Longo, the painter, directed the video for Middleman. I guess you can see it on MTV if you search.
Really? Would they play in 120 minutes or something?
You know, something like that. Well, you know, someone said that they saw at 8:45. You know, but I think it's, I don't know what they call breakout. I can't even understand. Yeah, breakout, buzzbin. I mean, it's pretty, and they have like all these like rotation things. It's pretty wild. But we're on there, and we're on Video Music Box. They've been playing the record a lot, and BET, Black Entertainment.
What's the video
Television.
like? I haven't seen it.
It's like a collage. It's a lot of movement in it. You know, a lot of it was shot in Brooklyn. You know, a lot of it was shot in Brooklyn. A lot of neighborhood people.
Like street scenes?
Street scenes and stuff. But it's in a way, it's kind of psychedelic. You know, there's a lot of swirling colors and things like
Vivid.
that. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess.
It's like the cover of the
I
album.
guess, I suppose.
How imagistic. Okay. We're talking with Vernon Reid on the New Afternoon Show, and let's hear Middleman from Vivid, WNYU. Middleman from Living Color on WNYU. We're talking with Vernon Reid of Living Color, and we were just talking about how you're this cult figure down in Princeton and all that.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, I really like playing down there. You know, so far, I think we've done 2 or 3 gigs down there, and it's been cool. Did some gigs at Princeton University.
What about your being, I guess, compared to, I read somewhere that you said you're not the disciple of Hendrix, but you're the descendant, because people have always making those comparisons, you and Jimi Hendrix.
Sure, you know, well, I think I've felt it very important to put Hendrix's influence in perspective, you know, because I think a lot of people assume, like right off the bat, yo, what's up?
Is that Corey?
Corey's walked
All
in.
right, Corey's here, lead singer of Living Color.
And
Really?
people like make the assumption, you know, that if you're, I guess, black and playing rock guitar, that they're automatic ties to Hendrix. And, you know, I wouldn't want to downplay his legacy because it's very important. In actuality, I mean, the first guitar that I heard that I really dug was Carlos Santana. The first guitar player I heard that really influenced me strongly. And then I heard Hendrix later, and he had a profound effect on me. But I always thought he was a great songwriter as well as a guitarist, and people usually just talk about him as a guitar player. And then there are a lot of other instruments and things that I've heard in the course of learning how to play the instrument that have affected me. Like a lot of saxophone players, like Eric Dolphy and Coltrane, had their effect on me. And
So you incorporate that into your...
I try to as much as I can. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, I mean, there's a lot of music there that I have yet to unravel, but, you know, there's a real influence.
Well, it wails on this record, let me tell you.
Cool. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah,
you know.
definitely. Now, speaking of tours, you're over in England, right?
You're over in England.
What
yeah,
happened over there?
Not exactly touring. It felt like a tour. It was one gig. But that was good. We played at the
Who'd you play with?
ICA. ICA with the Institute of Contemporary Art. And we had a really good time. Did a show. We got around London a little bit. You know, ran around to a couple of clubs. Went to the WAG Club. We had a good time after the show. But it was good. You know, a lot of people really liked it. So we'll see.
So
We're just starting to get some feedback, press and stuff from England, and so far it's been real positive.
Great.
Yeah, it's been okay.
And what about your work with other people like John Zorn and...
John Zorn and Arto Lindsay. I did some stuff. I played on this thing that John did called the Big Gun Down, which is Ennio Morricone music. And most recently, I worked with Arto Lindsay and Peter Shearer on their new record that's coming out on Virgin. The Ambitious Lovers have, I think, their first record coming out on Virgin. And so I did some tracks on that, and that was a lot of fun. Arto is great.
Yeah, fun to work with.
Because he mixes like Brazilian music
Uh-huh.
with, it's like a cross between his DNA stuff, P-Funk, and like serious Brazilian ballads. And so it's a very good record. So I'm looking forward to that coming out too. So that should be good.
And what about, I know on this one there were 2 tracks produced by Mick Jagger. And you...
Corey, let me talk about Jagger. Why don't you talk about Jagger? Get up. You big. Take my seat.
Switching places here. Hi, Corey.
Hello, New York. Hi, how you doing?
All right.
I don't know your name, I'm sorry.
Marlene.
Hi, I'm Corey.
All right, nice to meet you.
Yes, we're getting introduced on the air. Anyway, yes.
Best place. Well, I was just asking Vernon over here, who's been talking for a while, how I guess you got hooked up with Mick Jagger and him producing Glamour Boys and another track. Which
Way to America?
Which Way to America?
Well, originally someone had suggested Vernon to play on his album, on Primitive Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time kept talking about this band that he was playing in, that he started, that was so great that you should come on down and check it out. You should come on down and check it out. Finally, I guess he listened, and he and Jeff Beck came down to a gig at CBGB's.
Really?
How
long ago was that?
That was about a year ago.
Wow.
Yes, just about a year ago. And he was very impressed, so impressed that he didn't come backstage. He just left. No, but he was he was very impressed, and he asked Vernon to come down to audition for to play on his album. So he did, and he did get the job. Yeah, he did a few like rhythm tracks on something Kowtow, right? Whatever. He's not listening to me.
Not one of the plagiarized pieces.
Right. Exactly. So and during that time, he said he kept in contact with us after Vernon finished, and he was wondering, had they gotten a deal yet? Because we were at the moment we were working with another company, possibly to get a deal through them, and it didn't go through. And he says, okay, fine, I'll produce 2 demos, and if that doesn't help you, I don't know what will. So we went in to the studio with him while he was mixing his album, and we just cut those 2 songs. And it was really nice because lots of people think, oh, Mick Jagger, this like megastar, and he's not. I mean, he's very well aware of what and who he is in the world, but he doesn't let it affect him. He doesn't let it bother him either. I mean, just think if you were that well known, how you would sleep at night, having people knocking at your door and calling you up and all kinds of stuff.
So do you plan on working with him again, or is he just now a fan of yours?
No, I mean, if he deems it,
if it's allowed,
exactly.
You
never know. But he's
good people.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. I mean, there's no pretentiousness about him. So I'm sure that if he likes it,
nice guy to us, any day.
right? If he likes it, he'll come on. He'll come back to the fold, so to speak.
All right. Well, the next track we're gonna hear, "Desperate People."
That was produced by Ed Stasium, who did the rest of the record.
Okay, tell them.
Ed Stasium did this.
Eddie Stasium.
Eddie, you want to say anything about the song? I mean, it's
It rocks.
pretty. Yeah, I was gonna say it rocks, but it's filled with.
It's filled with Sturm und Drang, but really, it's what? just
We have an open bar here.
It's soft drinks, really.
It's true. It's ginger ale and orange juice.
They're having a party like next door. Like what?
They're probably listening to your record,
See, this song is like part of the other side of the party life. That's what the song is about.
The other side of the party life. Desperate People from Living Color, and we are talking to Corey and Vernon of Living Color on the new afternoon show. Ow! Smoking up the studio with Living Color. Desperate People was that track, and we're talking with Corey and Vernon Reid from Living Color. I was going to ask you, there's a track on here, a Talking Heads cover, Memories Can't Wait.
Yep.
How'd you decide to do that? I mean, was it always one of your favorites? Or?
Yep.
Dementia.
You know what happened was Fear of Music and Remain in Light is still like my favorite Talking Heads records.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I was at a friend's house and I was listening to a CD of Fear of Music. And I just kept playing Memories Can't Wait because it was like one of my favorite tunes. What are you doing there? I'm writing on my switcher. On the record, and I started to think, like, what would it be like? Could we do it?
Mm-hmm.
So I listened to it over and over again, and I said, okay, well, we'll try it because I really like the.
He's giving him a sweatshirt tattoo, I think.
I really like the lyric, and the lyric like means a certain thing to me about kind of really getting past, the restraints, having that party in your mind, and you hope it never stops, like you're kind of like your imagination, and keep
Muzz
in that
thinks it's
movement.
about masturbation. Then.
Muzz, the bass player, thinks it's about masturbation. He tried to break it. He was breaking it down. He was like, had this whole analysis.
I kind of agree.
Really?
But party in your... Get out.
I think it might be. You never know.
But
Are
then
you inside David Byrne's head?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. No, but...
Oh, man.
But really...
Well, never mind.
You don't have to
confirm
answer.
it. Confirm or deny.
You don't have to answer that question.
I don't have to answer that
No.
question
Taking the fifth?
on the grounds. No, not
May
at all.
incriminate you?
No. Wait a minute. I want to... Wait a minute. Start asking that question again, man. But,
All right.
but
As
that's
I
what
was
the song
saying.
is. But
So
really-
have you sent David a copy of it? I mean, see that?
Actually, I talked to David Byrne. I ran into him somehow or other. I wound up at a party and he was there, and don't ask me why or how, but I started talking to him and I said, I'm in a band and we're on Epic and we did one of your songs. And he said, well, what song did you do? I said, well, we did a song from Fear of Music. And he was like, looked real weird. He was like, Fear of Music, what song did you do? And I said, Memories Can't Wait. And he was like, looked like, really? So.
Did he hear it?
I think we sent him a tape. I don't know if it got past Gary, if it got past his manager, but hopefully he heard it. I guess he'll hear it now. The record's out.
Yeah,
I hope
definitely.
So we'll send him a copy of the record.
We're gonna hear it now.
Actually, no. We're not going to hear it.
Actually,
I just
no.
wanted to talk about it.
We just wanted to talk about it. We're not
We'll play it next, okay?
Well, we'll play it after. I don't know. How about after 7:30? We'll play it.
Ooh, okay.
Cool. Looks like the show's over, folks.
No, we're gonna play it "Which Way to America" to close
Cool,
this out. But
cool.
before we even go anywhere, I just have a couple more questions about. As I think I bumped into you on the street or something one time, and you said that now that the album's out, you just kind of sit back and wait. And how does that feel?
I didn't say that. Well, in a way you do, but in a way you kind of once it's done.
Help this melody. Buy this record.
No, once it's done, there's nothing more to be done other than to play, to support it. But really, in terms of what the record's going to do, you can't run around and grab people and say, wow, this record's great, you got to buy my record. I mean, basically, people, I guess through radio, certainly, WNYU is real important to this record, and, other college stations. Basically, people, if they get a chance to hear it, they make their own judgment on it, even like the thing you mentioned about Princeton. We went to Princeton and we played like 2 or 3 times, and we, people really liked the band.
Did they really?
And they're really supportive. They were throwing you around.
Yeah, that's really liking me. Throwing me around is like a lot of fun.
They were carrying him
It's
over
great
their
for you,
heads
right?
and throwing him upside down and stuff. But the main thing
They were
is
going
that
to hang me.
now that the record's out, people are really picking up on it in Princeton, New Jersey. And that's good. That's a direct connection between playing live and radio supporting it, and then the stores having it. So basically, it's kind of, in a way, you have to wait and see what's going to happen, but you can't wait. You have to actually go out and play and let people hear the music, to convince them that this is something that they should have in their lives. But other than that, there's nothing else to be done but to do your best.
And you are actually going to be playing tomorrow night at the Ritz with the Godfathers. It should be a hot show, right?
Yeah.
And
there's a band that's opening for us.
Mish and
Well, we'll find it out later.
That's embarrassing.
it's very embarrassing. We're sorry, fellas, but
No, but it's a really good. No, but we're doing a show with the Godfathers tomorrow night, and there's an opening band. I'm gonna know the name.
All right, we're gonna
gonna find
get
it
on
right
this
now.
information. Look it up in The Voice or something like that. So I do.
shuffle.
While they're looking this up, I do have 6 Living Color Vivid albums to give
that
away.
you can peruse at your own
And when
discretion.
when we stop talking with these guys, then you can give us a call at 998-1818. And I guess we'll just make it easy for them, right? The first 6 callers and just
No, let's not make it easy for them. Did they make it easy for us? Yes, they did. But no, let's not make it easy for them.
Do you have any trivia question you want to ask?
Trivia question.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, good. Trivia question.
Oh man, this is like a thinking moratorium here. He's got the
trivia question.
The paper out. Trivia question going.
Let's think. A good trivia question. Okay. How many people out there like into science fiction and monster movies? Okay, I got it. This is easy though.
Got the question.
This is a good question.
Mish and the Anglos are going to be.
Mish and the Anglos are going to be opening. Okay, this is the question. Okay, those of you that are science fiction fans, now listen up. This is real easy. No, but check it out. No, I got it. Let me do it.
Ask it.
The day the Earth stood still, Michael Rene had a robot. What was the robot's name? And what did he set to say
to activate
to control it?
Ooh.
What did Michael Rene have to say in The Day the Earth Stood Still? Two things. What's the name of the robot in The Day the Earth Stood Still?
Wasn't it the one he said, Earth stinks? That was one of the lines from it.
And
seriously.
And what did he have to say? What did Michael Rene have to say to stop the robot from like wreaking havoc? That's the question.
Whoa. All right. So it's up to you out there, all of you. I guess what is it? Movie buffs?
Science
fiction
movie
well,
buffs.
if you know the name of the robot, you know how to. That's
all right, the name of the robot and how you activate it, what you have to say, in order to get this vivid album.
This vivid thing.
It is pretty vivid.
Ow.
And as we wrap up this afternoon's interview,
we're gonna mishmash.
We're gonna end it.
This kind of dries for you.
We're gonna end it with "Which Way to America." Have any last words on this track or about life itself?
If you come into the Ritz, be mindful of the rant, which is in the middle of the song. Where's my picket fence, my long cold glass of lemonade? Where's my VCR, my stereo, my TV show? We want to hear you say this tomorrow night.
Is that how they get in for free or something?
No, but
no.
but they can, do it when we do the song.
Oh, all right. So you should be in the front, I guess, if you know the words.
Right, if you know the words.
All right, cool. Well, I guess people are going to try and call as we plug the phone in. So give us a call, 998-1818, for that trivia question to win Vernon, Reid, Corey,
Muzz,
Living Color,
Will, Living
Vivid.
Color.
It all comes out on the album.
988-1818.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming up to the New Afternoon Show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, WNYU.
And Which Way to America? Let's find out. New Afternoon Show.